So mistakes in promotion. Let's have a look at some of the mistakes people make in promotion. You may find you have done some of these or are doing them. And this applies, by the way, to everything that you do in promotion-wise. So it applies to business cards, it applies to websites, it applies to even staff uniforms or your promotion that you print. All of these things, it's very important to follow these rules or avoid these mistakes. So the first mistake is using jargon. Using jargon. Computer people are the worst at this, aren't they? By the 304 gigahertz, the 700 megahertz, the 1.5 gigahertz, all you know is that when you have to pay for it, it hurts, right? That's what hurts. What does this stuff mean? What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Or another one, you know, using brand names, model numbers and stuff, you know. I had a client, you know, he said the Delkin 5438 Plus. It's an air conditioning machine. What does that mean? I don't know. Does it make you cold? Does it make the room warm when it's cold and cold when it's warm? Does it make the room comfortable? So using jargon is a big killer. Because here's something, if people don't understand your product or service, they can't make a decision to buy it. Do you want your clients to be confused? No. Do people make good decisions when they're confused? No. The only reason buyer's remorse even exists is because people make a decision when they're confused and they come back later and they go, actually, I don't want to do that. See? So when people understand something, they get it. Who's read my books again? Yeah? Are they simple? Yeah. No jargon. If there is jargon, I'll make sure I define it so you get it. No jargon. Keep it simple. People understand. Then they can make a decision whether or not they want to buy it. Being general and not specific. See this a lot. You know, being very general. Best value, great service, best prices. Best prices for who? Best prices for you or me? You know, this is too general. You've got to be specific. See, if you have the best hot water system or if you have the best whatever it is, you need to explain why. This hot water system is one of the best on the market because it heats 80 gallons of water in 5 seconds quicker than any other machine on the market. See, this is getting specific, you see. This is why it is the best. It's not, you don't just say it is the best. Or we give the best service. No, we guarantee our service, and if you come to us and we don't deliver in 24 hours, then we refund you or whatever. That's good service, you see. You be very, very specific about what you do. Using your business name as a heading. I've covered this. No one really cares about your business name, what it's called. I had a guy come up to me once at a seminar. You know, I've got a company called the Knowledge Centre. He came up to one of our seminars. It was an investment type seminar, and he said, I love the Knowledge Source. You guys do fantastic seminars, while he handed me an order form. Right? Do I care what he thinks the name of the company is? Not really. You know, I wrote these books with Ed Chan. I had a guy come up to me one day at a seminar and said, Tony Chan, you do the best seminars. I said, thank you very much. I don't care what people call me. Handing me an order form? Fine. We'll process that, make a sale, whatever. See, so the names of stuff are really not that important. They're not that important. Price-focused advertising. You know, if you're getting down to really focusing on price, it's not a small business or medium-sized business marketing strategy. It does work in some industries when discounting is what they do. But you've got to have an enormous amount of infrastructure to compete when you're discounting. So for examples, you know, the supermarkets compared to a corner store. Okay, they're different, aren't they? And if a corner store tried to discount, they just go broke. Okay, the reason that you know, 7-Eleven is called, you know, these convenience stores do exist is they charge high prices, don't they? You know when you're going there it's going to cost more, don't you? But you pay for it because it's called a convenience store. The price is inconvenient, but it's convenient because you can go there. Right? So it's a different target market, you understand? So price-focused advertising simply means you don't know the benefits of your product enough, so the best you can do is give people some money back. And what is this doing on your profit, on your accelerator profit margin? When you start discounting and price-focused and all that, what are you doing? You're lifting your foot off, aren't you? That's what you're doing. Is this what we want to do in our money-making machine? No, I want to put our foot down, right? I want to put our foot down. Yes?
Last year, NRMA did a terrible thing in terms of they had a race for the bottom in terms of the cheapest price.
Oh, yeah.
Insurance.
Yes.
How stupid is that as far as I'm concerned?
Yeah, cheapest price insurance. Again, if it's a marketing strategy built around a particular thing, then it can work. But if it's purely based on price with no benefits, then it's very easy for someone else to come up with a cheaper price, you know? And how do you differentiate between this price and that price if one's just cheaper, you know? It also, you know, if you sold a product for $1,000 and now you're selling it for 800, everyone had bought off 1,000, what have you just done to them? Yeah, they're now a little bit upset with you. It's much better, if you're gonna discount, don't. It's much better to keep it at 1,000 and add stuff for free. You know, there's 3 ways to sell something or promote it. You could say buy one, get one free, 50% off, or 2 for the price of 1. And which one works better every time? Buy one, get one free. Because the word free always sells. Buy one, get one free, outdoes the other 2. But for you, it's the same cost, you see? So adding value is always something that works much, much better. Negative advertising or critical advertising. Negative advertising, critical advertising, you should stay away from this. It doesn't work. It really puts a bad light on you. Because people, you know, you get what you focus on. If you focus on things, that's what you'll get. And it's like these quit ads. You know, the quit ads, the smoking ads, they're pretty shocking, some of them. Who's seen the one with, you know, it's a gangrene leg? Who's seen that one? It's on the side of a bus once, you know, you see this gangrene leg and it's like quit smoking, you know? How many people do you see walking down the street with a gangrene leg going like this? Is this real? Does this happen a lot? No, it doesn't happen. It's ridiculous. Not only that, it looks so ugly and disgusting. You don't look at it, this is interesting, I better read this. You look, oh, gross, and you turn away, don't you? So negative advertising doesn't work. I mean, how did they get people to smoke in the first place? Yeah, they're good-looking people, didn't they? Smoking. They should just have good-looking people going, hi, I'm good-looking and I don't smoke. Oh, by the way, I've got nothing against smokers, but they should hire the same firms that got people to smoke to not smoke, right? Instead of all this negative stuff. And it's all like these, you know, the road ads as well. I think the drink driving ads or the speeding ones, you know. It's all death and disgusting. You don't pay attention to that, you know. You focus on positive, you get a much, much better result. Also, being critical, you know, Panasonic, I think, did an ad where they advertised a stereo and they said, you know, this is better than all these other stereos, and their statistics went down. It's like going to a party or one of those friends or acquaintances you have that always whinges about other people. You get sick of it after a while, don't you? You don't want to talk to them. It's the same with the advertising. The only place this seems to work is for Apple. That's because it's true. Isn't that right, Dobson? I'm an Apple fan. So I always throw a PC joke in here for any PC users. Failing to test and measure your promotional campaigns. Big mistake. If you had a salesperson, how many have salespeople working for them? No, a couple of you? Okay, so if you've got a salesperson working for you, would you monitor the result of the salesperson? If you're paying him every week, would you make sure he's selling at least what he cost you? Well, nothing. The advertising's the same. You know, if you put ads and promotion and marketing in place, it doesn't make any money, we'll fire it. Get another one. But you can't do that unless you measure it. So you've got to measure it. The other thing too is when you do start actually promoting is you've got to test small first. Don't go and test big. Don't go, okay, we'll put a big campaign out and mail the whole of Australia. No, you start off small, local area, local newspaper, whatever. Test, measure, make sure the campaign works. Maybe test 3 or 4 different campaigns. Work out which one is best, and then now you can go and promote because you know what works. Trying to entertain instead of selling. This is becoming more and more common in advertising. You even have awards for it now, don't they? Trying to entertain instead of selling. Who can think of an ad that entertains and is funny but you've got no idea what it sells? Can anyone think of some of those? Yeah, you've seen some? You can't remember, right? The Nescafe ad, yeah? What they were talking about, yeah? Yeah, some of these are real. I know I fly a lot, so, you know, Virgin had this ad on their you sit there and they've got the screen on there, and there's these 2 people pillow fighting. Anybody see that one on a bed? They're pillow fighting? What was it advertising? I don't know. I've watched it so many times, I keep trying to remember. It's some hotel chain, but I keep forgetting. You know, cute guy, good-looking guy, cute girl, pillow fighting, interesting, funny, after you watched it once. What's it advertising? It's trying to be funny and interesting, but it's not actually trying to sell anything. So don't try to be funny in your ads. You want to tell people what are they going to get. So not appealing to what the customer wants. See, everybody is tuned into a radio station. And this is the radio station. WIIFM. What's in it for me? So what's in it for me? WIIFM, sorry. What's in it for me? That's what everybody's tuned into. They want to know, what do I get? What's the benefit of this thing? I don't care about its gigahertz. I want to know, what does it do? Well, it's fast and reliable and it's not a PC. Okay, good, I'll buy it. You know? That was a joke, by the way. You all missed that one, didn't you? Tell us again. It's too entertaining one. Another big one, not including client testimonials. You've got to include client testimonials in your promotion because what you say is only half true. Right? It's like this when you're with your kids, isn't it? You can tell your kids all sorts of things, and you get some of their friends tell them, and all of a sudden they do it and they believe it. Who's experienced this? Yes? The same way with parents. You know? I tell my parents to buy more property and do everything, and one day my mum came to a seminar and Ed Chan spoke and she said, geez, we should be buying more property. You know? So we don't listen to those things. So if it comes from another source, it's more believable, you see? More believable. Not including a call to action. You've got to tell your clients what to do. You've got to tell them what to do. Call to action, call now, you know, pick up the phone, ring now, go to the website, fill out the form, whatever it is. Got to get them to call to action. Come in today, visit, whatever. No special offer. You've got to have a special offer in your advertising, in your promotion, and that special offer should ideally have an end date. So, you know, you can buy this, you get this free, and this offer finishes by a certain time. That gives people the necessity to actually go and take action now. And no method of contacting you. I threw this one in here. If you don't put your phone number, website, or address, your advertising doesn't work. Okay, I tested that one just to see. Doesn't work. You've got to put your details in there. And then trying to build your brand awareness is the last one. As I said, waste of time. Waste of time. Doesn't really matter what you're called, your business is called. Until you start to really build your brand through goodwill and through delivering a product and service, it is kind of irrelevant. All right, so there's the don'ts. What are the musts? What are the musts? You've got to be specific in your advertising. You've got to be clear. Always have an offer. Something for free or a sample is a good idea because that will generate a good response and you'll be able to collect names and addresses from that. You must have a call to action. You've got to tell people, call now, buy now. You've got to tell them what to do. If they've got to fill out a form, tell them to fill out the form, tell them where to mail it, tell them where to fax it, whatever it is. Be nice and clear in what a person has to do in order to buy your product and service or respond to a marketing campaign. Another thing is you've got to tell a story. You should tell a story in what you do, and I'm going to cover this a little bit more in a minute. Openly guarantee your product. This is very important. Who here in business, if your client didn't get what they wanted or didn't get what you promised for, you know, the product was not right or the service wasn't quite up to scratch, who would either refund them or give them a new one or try to do it again? Who would do that? Okay, most of you do it. Who has to do it by law? Yeah, well, we all do. Okay, unless you're a solicitor. A solicitor told me that one. But most of us in business, we have to actually deliver what we promise. So who here thinks that if they guaranteed their product and service like that, like said, you know, if you buy a fuzz and it doesn't work, we'll give you your money back. Who here thinks they'll get ripped off a bit? Anyone? No? A little bit? Well, the truth is you will. A little bit. Only a small percentage of society are like this, okay? But some people will try and take advantage of it. Well, let me tell you a little story about this. I did seminars about 9 years ago, had a guy come. We had a weekend workshop and DVDs and a whole bunch of educational stuff. And he bought all of that and he came to the weekend and about 6 months later he asked for a refund. So you could have told us a bit sooner than that. You know? Plus you're supposed to tell us at the event if you didn't like the material, because then we could have done something about it. But I said, okay, fair enough, write him the check, send him the money, okay? A few weeks later, or a couple of months later, we're doing some seminars around the country and we saw this guy had booked in. Right? Because the staff just left a nice little note that I can't repeat in public about him on his little account, you know. And he booked into the seminar and he came, and I said to the staff, point him out to me when he's here. And they did, and guess what he did? At the end of that seminar, he booked in for the next seminar event, which is pretty much similar to what he'd already done before and would refund it on. So what was he going to do again? So I, saw who he was, went back and said, what are you doing? He said, well, I want to come to that seminar. So it was pretty much what you actually bought a few years ago, or a couple of years ago, whatever, and refunded on. I said, so why would you want to do it? No, I'm interested, I want to learn how to invest. I said, no way. Ripped it up, gave it back to him. Said, I'm not interested in your business. Because that kind of person, what's he just done? When he does that, has he just put a big neon sign on his head that says what? I'm going to rip you off, I'm a bad client, you don't want to deal with me. So when you openly guarantee your product, these people really just put neon signs on their head. It's perfect. You don't know those guys, too much hassle, too many headaches. Much, much nicer people in the world than that. On the flip side, how many of you, with your clients, want to know if you don't do what you promised, or if the client didn't get what they want? Who would want to know that in their business? Of course you do, because this is the only way you can actually fix something, isn't it? You see, so if you guarantee your product and service, what happens is this, the majority of people will turn around and say, listen, by the way, look, it's no big deal. I just want to let you know, it's okay, I don't want my money back, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, but you promised me this, but I got this. Or you said you'd do that and I got this. But it's okay, I'm happy, you don't have to do anything. And, they're cool with it. But now can you do something about it? Yeah, you can. You can actually now fix this in your business. And I'll give you a quick example of this. I had a guy at Chan & Naylor, we do financial health checks. People come in and they have a consultation. And we were booked out for, I think, 4 to 6 weeks in advance. So I implemented an express financial health check service. So there's an extra $100 and you could get in quicker. And we were flat out. Anyway, a guy comes in, it's a Friday afternoon, and some guy comes in, is booked in for a financial health check, and we've double booked. So there's no free accountant to talk to him. Ed Chan's not there, David Naylor's not there, so the receptionist comes to me and says, can you do it? Well, I don't normally do them. I said, well, this guy, he'd paid extra, and he was there. So I said, okay. I said, I'll do it. So I went out there, and it was obviously a bit irate to begin with. It's like, kind of organisation is this, Well, we're just driving very, very fast, We're still in the control phase, trying to get control. Anyway, I did a consultation with him. He was actually quite a wealthy gentleman, and I saved him, I think, $1 million or a couple of $1 million or something in taxes and different things, and being able to reinvest and do stuff with his money and all the rest of it. And he was pretty happy at the end of that. But he said this to me. He said this. He said, I just want to let you know I was charged an extra $100 more than I thought. Well, I said, okay, no worries. He goes, but fine, no big deal, not a problem. I'm happy, glad you took the time out to do it, because I know you don't normally do it, so totally fine. So what I did is when I went back to my desk, I called my PA in, my personal assistant. I said, can you go buy a ticket for this guy for a restaurant in Thredbo, because he had a property in Thredbo that he owned. I said, get a ticket at a restaurant, a $100 voucher at the restaurant, and send it to him. About a week later, I get an email this long. You are a legend, And he rings me and tells me how amazing it is that I not only remembered it, that I remembered he had a property in Thredbo, and I actually booked his favourite restaurant of all time, which was a complete fluke. And also, he is actually a business consultant, or he consults to high corporate CEO executives, so he then tells this story of good customer service and sent his clients to us. So did I make my $100 back? See, so it's important to be able to give clients the opportunity to tell you when you're wrong or you're not doing what you should. And when you openly guarantee your product or service, it gives them that avenue to do so. So it's perfect. It tells you who's your bad clients you don't want, and it gives you your good clients you do want, how you can improve your service and keep them. Yeah? Does that make sense? So openly guarantee your product and service. Because in terms of building trust and confidence in what you do, if you are willing and confident in your product and service, you should guarantee it, shouldn't you? Because if you're not 100%, oh, look, I'm not sure it's going to do what you want, don't ask me, mate, but just give me some money for it. It's not really fair, is it? All right, so you make that commitment and people go, oh, well, it builds the trust and confidence straight away. Always include testimonials, always, always, always. In your marketing, avoid the jargon, define it if you have to. Avoid product codes and model numbers except on order forms. So don't put them in your general promotion, but if you need them on order forms, that's fair enough. Promote with the view of generating a response. So you're not necessarily trying to make a sale, but you want a response. You want feedback. You want something from the client so you know what they're interested in.